For years I've used these BL2303 USB to serial converters because these are so cheap and simple. I have quite few of these and it's nice to have extra ones, so they can be left connected to projects. There's no need to always recheck the pinouts and reconnect the serial wires when switching between projects. These have been my favorite simple USB to serial converters, but now I'm fed up with these. It's time to say goodbye to them and move on. If Windows Update installs new drivers, these stop working. Installing old drivers and telling Windows not to update the drivers works as long as you don't change the adapter or USB port. I'm tired of guessing whether they'll work or not, so I want to update them. I just got the PCBs for another simple USB to serial converter from sponsor of this video, PCBWay.com. PCBWay.com offers basic PCBs starting from just $5 for 10 pieces of 10 by 10 cm PCBs. Here are samples of some, but not all of the different color options available. If your project requires more advanced PCBs, 3D printed parts or CNC milled parts, don't worry, you can order them from PCBWay.com as well. For all your prototyping and low volume production needs, go check out PCBWay.com for up-to-date information on their offering. So when BL2303 based converters worked, I really liked them. I don't need any more sophisticated features in basic USB to serial converter. I'm okay with having separate converters for 3.3 and 5V circuits. When I need a simple USB to serial converter ICs nowadays, I'll go with CH330. Which is like a stripped down version of popular CH340. For 5V compatible circuit, couple of capacitors is all that it needs, and for 3.3V circuit, only regulator is to be added. I am slowly moving towards USB-C, so I designed this to have USB-C jack. And I also remembered to add the 5.1 kΩ resistors on CC1 and CC2 pins to make this actually compatible with USB-C ports. That's something that is often missing on all kind of USB-C modules sold on AliExpress. On the serial side, I have 4-pin pin header with power, ground, TX and RX. I didn't need any flow control pins because this is enough most of the time and I want to keep this simple. Here's the most basic schematic of CH330N with 5V voltage. USB to serial converters really don't get any simpler than this. For working with 3.3V circuits, 3.3V regulator gets power from USB and feeds the pins 5 and 8 of CH330. I combined these two versions using solder jumpers that can be left open or soldered to make the connection. In this version, leaving JB1 and JB3 open, but soldering JB2 will make this work with 5V supply voltage. Soldering JB1 and JB3 and leaving the JB2 open will make this work with 3.3V. I really thought which would be better for my use. This way, configuring during soldering, or having a switch that can change between different voltages. I decided it's best to have separate converters for 3.3V and 5V circuits and mark them properly to avoid accidents. If you compare the description of solder jumpers with the PCBs I got here, there's something missing. The PCBs I ordered only have 2 solder jumpers. The design I had when ordering these boards required leaving regulator unpopulated for a 5V version. For some reason I didn't add the JB3 solder jumper. No idea what I was thinking. Adding that JB3 allows me to change back and forth between 3.3V and 5V by soldering or desoldering the jumpers without needing to add or remove any components. I haven't updated the layout to include the JB3 yet, but I will do that soon and share the project at PCBWay's shared project section. This isn't the USB to serial converter with all the bells and whistles, and there are times when this won't be sufficient. But this is something that is good enough for me in most cases. See you next video. Thanks. Bye.